New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
All is it in your hand. PNM is the plan. Ready, hold it steady. PNM, we are one.
Someone from your own community, from your own. Where's that, Barry?
Cuba South.
You're going Cuba South? You see, we stayed in 3 a.m. my brain is soon. Give a round of applause as the incoming MP. The United National Congress nominates Barry Padarak to be the new Member of Parliament for Cuba South. Give a round of applause.
When Dr. Rowley announced this in 2023, I was at that press conference, and the first thing he said was, it's realistic. It's looking like Donald Trump may come back. He doesn't have the same relationship. From then, I would have assumed there would have been a plan B, C, D. Walk us through now. I mean, I know you said there the negotiation, but I'm sure you, before this came up, you had a plan B or a plan C. What can you tell us about that?
Kijan, plan B and plan C and plan D already in play. Plan A, but I just did. This is all about gas production. This is all about the production of gas and getting gas to plants at Point Lisas and LNG plant and methanol plant down in Point Fortin. So you're seeing plan B, plan C, and plan D taking place. You're seeing the continued production by BP, by Shell, by Perenco, by EOG, this I told you about, Woodside and BP up with deepwater gas.
Election is about selecting a leader for Trinidad and Tobago. This election is about selecting the right person to lead this country. This election is not an election for us to play with. This is serious business. It is about deciding who is best to lead this country. And if what we saw a short while ago is any indication of the two leaders, I ask you tonight, who are you voting for? Stuart Young to lead this country as our next Prime Minister. The choice is between someone who will tell you what you think you want to hear and someone who will tell you the truth. The truth about themselves, the truth about their party, and the truth about Trinidad and Tobago. The choice is between a party that has built a solid foundation, contesting every seat, local or general, since 1956, or a party that can only find 34 candidates in Trinidad and none in Tobago. I want to ask you tonight, and I begin with 2 simple letters. Stuart Richard Young, SC, or Kamla S. Prasad Bisesa, SC. I want to ask you tonight, we know that our Stuarty earned his elevation to the inner bar by dint of hard work, his legal brilliance. We have seen him in action. But what of Kamla Prasad Bisesa? She was the leader of the cabinet and therefore one of the persons charged with the responsibility of conferring the title of senior counsel. Kamla with the assistance of her then Attorney General, Anand Ramlogan, was judge and jury in her own cause, and she deemed herself worthy to be called SC. Is Kamla Prasad Bisesa worthy, ladies and gentlemen? PNM family, when we look at the composition of the teams that surround Prime Minister Stuart Young, an opposition leader for life, I repeat, opposition leader for life, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, you cannot help but ask the question, which team is better poised to take Trinidad and Tobago through the next 5 years? When you look at us, we are red, we are ready, and we are responsible. When Kamla looks to her left, she sees Philip Alexander, who not so long ago referred to her, and I quote, as a canal conch. When she looks to her right, she sees Ansel Roger, who dragged an effigy of her through the streets, calling her all manner of names in the process. When she looks in front, she sees Anil Roberts of live sport and Loeb's fame. When she looks behind, she sees Rudal Munilal, who sat like a mapipi, just waiting for her to fall. And ladies and gentlemen, somebody told me today that if you look a little way down the road, you will see somebody from the port who some U.S. Marshals looking for. I want the good people of San Juan Barataria to ask yourselves, whom do you want to govern Trinidad and Tobago? If, God forbid, Kamla is Prime Minister and a can fall on her foot again, so she cannot continue to act as Prime Minister, can you imagine Barry Padarat as your next Prime Minister? Can you see Rudal Munilal as your next Prime Minister? Can you see Khadija Amin? She herself can't even trust them. But I want to tell you tonight, no seat is safe for Kamla, because the PNM in the skin everywhere. We in the skin in Tabaquite, we in the skin in Couva North, we in the skin in Claxon Bay, we in the skin in Chaguanas East, Kamuto Manzanilla, Maruga Tableland, Mayaro. We coming for them because we ready, and we responsible.
Stems.
Ladies and
Yes, I can hear
gentlemen,
them saying, boys,
please
stop
stand
living in the
as
past.
we welcome
Where can I find
to the
that
Anthony
energy,
Roberts
the raw
Promenade
that comes
in
down
San
from the
Juan.
grassroots?
Please
Yes, I'm from a
stand as
place
we
where
welcome
so there is
the
sounding,
political
but you could
leader
feel anytime, any hour, sunshine or shower.
People's
You will feel it
National
anywhere you
Movement,
look, and it reads like a
Dr.
storybook.
the Honorable
I come from
Keith
when we used to
Christopher
carry it.
Rowley.
We used to carry it when the ground, we used to carry it. We used to carry it when the ground, we used to
Please
carry it.
give him
We used to carry
a
it when the
welcome
ground, we used to carry
that
it.
he will never
We used to
forget.
carry it when I read.
Please give him a welcome that will send shivers of the spines of the UNC and Kamla Prasad Visesa. Please welcome a man of grit. Please welcome a man of principle. Please welcome a man who led us to 2 consecutive general election victories. Please welcome a statesman not only of Trinidad and Tobago, but a CARICOM statesman. A man for all seasons. A man in whom we are well proud. He is here. He is with us. We welcome you, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley.
Shaking like an earthquake, but everyone was fine. It was when hot girl wine. We used to see the downtown massive and the uptown massive with no fences to separate. And it was like a rite of passage when your clothes get damaged, as you start fetting by the gate. Then time did the ground. We used to carry it. We used to carry it up and down. We did carry it. We used to carry it when the flag to the carry it. We used to carry it when the
Ladies and gentlemen, how could anyone trust Kamla Prasad Visesa and her team? And I want to tell them tonight, big jackass, small jackass, same lasso. We coming for them. We coming for them. We coming for them. And you know why we coming for them? Because they bad talk Trinidad and Tobago at any turn they get. They bad talk this country with the United States over Venezuela. They rush to support Juan Guaido as the president of Venezuela. Now Guaido is like Zambo, nowhere to be found. They wrote to the U.S. demanding sanctions against former Prime Minister Rowley and Minister Stuart Young. They were rejoicing and gloating at the prospects of the new president of the USA imposing sanctions on individuals and countries. But we need to ask Kamla some questions. What would she have done with the gas fields that belong to Trinidad and Tobago that straddle the Venezuelan border? Would she simply have left those fields untouched and unexplored? And if she decided to explore them, with whom would she have negotiated? I ask you tonight, and we ask the question, Kamla, you are promising heaven and earth, but we ask you from this platform, how you paying for that? Reopening the Petrotrain refinery, how you paying for that? Reducing gas at the pumps, how you paying for that? Starting public service wage negotiations at 10%, how you paying for that? Repealing the Revenue Authority Act and abolishing property tax, how are you going to pay for that? We know that she has no clue about how that would be dealt with. We know that she would soon take us to the IMF. Not once on the platform has the opposition leader indicated one revenue-generating idea to balance the 1,000,001 promises she is making to the electorate. The evidence, ladies and gentlemen, is there for all to see. Former Prime Minister Patrick Manning warned us in 2010 that Kamla was unfit for office. Our next Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, told us in 2015 and 2020 that the lady just wasn't ready. Our current Prime Minister, the Honorable Stuart Young, SC, has also warned us that she is still not ready. She was unfit in 2010, she was unfit in 2015, she was unfit in 2020, and in 2025, she continues to be unfit. If there's one person who has distinguished themselves as being singularly unfit for the office of Prime Minister, it is Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Look at the people that she keeps around her. A veritable rogues gallery. Police looking for half of them, and the other half hanging on to her handbag. Munilal have plenty court case to answer. Padarat still can't answer how all that money ended up in his bank account. Philip Alexander owing Column millions of dollars. Ansel Roger living in a house paid for by the OWTU, driving a car paid for by the OWTU, and he receives a salary more than the Prime Minister. The Morris boy in Mayaro, he is the one who started the whole fake papers nonsense. Khadija still trying to find Zambo. Wayne Sturge still wearing his Superman jockey shorts. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, contemplate the decision you have to make on April 28th. I want to remind the public officers that during COVID-19, when the private sector employers were laying off staff or having them use their vacation leave, not a single gazetted public officer was laid off or forced to utilize their vacation leave entitlements. I want to remind our senior citizens who are in receipt of the Senior Citizens Grant or NIS pensions, those persons in receipt of public assistance, and those in receipt of disability grants, that not once during or after the pandemic did they ever receive their grants late. And I want to tell Vincent Benjamin, the man on that ad about pensions, yes, you, Vincent Benjamin, you saying that PNM gave you $1,000 and we raise it to $2,000 and then we raise it again to over $3,000. So Vincent Benjamin, don't come and talk nonsense to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Tonight, I want you to give Stuart Young the opportunity to complete the work that we have begun. And I also want you to give Kamla the opportunity to enjoy her retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verses 11 to 14 says, I know the plans I have for you, plans for peace, plans for prosperity, and a future filled with hope. Tonight, we in the PNM adopt the words of the prophet Jeremiah, because we too know the plans we have for this country. Plans for peace, plans for prosperity, and a future filled with hope. I therefore ask you not to be fooled by fancy promises wrapped in deception. Don't be seduced by smooth talk and short memories. Look at the record. Look at the facts. It is the People's National Movement that has held firm in the storms, delivered in crises, and led with heart, vision, and strength. On April 28th, vote for real leadership. Vote for stability. Vote for nation building. Vote for responsibility. Vote in Barataria San Juan for Dr. Mohammed Yunus Ibrahim. Vote in Arangwe St. Joseph for Terence Dial Singh. Vote in St. Anne's East for Nyangat Spidoli. Vote in Tunapuna for Esmond Ford. Vote in Trincity, Maloney. Where you are going to seal the deal with Camille. Vote in Port of Spain North, St. Anne's East. I'm just making sure you're all awake. Vote in Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West for Stuart Richard Young SC. Vote in Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West for Stuart Richard Young SC. And when the ballots are counted and the people have spoken, we will raise our voices together and declare with pride that great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM. We shall prevail because we are all in for Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you. God bless you.
This is a movement, we all in together, not just so one.
This is a new chapter. Join us on the road to victory. On Monday, April 14th, La Hoqueta, the People's National Movement, will be having a public meeting at Phase 2 HDC Car Park. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.